It is a crowded race for Portland City Council with 98 candidates running for 12 seats and 4 newly formed districts this November. As of now, 16 of those candidates are running in District 1, essentially outer East Portland, east of 82nd Avenue and I-205 into Gresham. Deian Salazar is a David Douglas High School alum. He served on the Oregon Autism Commission and the Governor's Child Foster Care Advisory Council, among other roles. Deian Salazar, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, you're an advocate for people with autism and for those in Oregon's foster care system. How does your personal experience fit into those advocacy roles?
Yes. So I have been really involved on the Oregon Commission on Autism, actually. It's the only interdisciplinary commission that works on that issue in the entire state. And one thing that we see with this community is the fact that they really lack a lot of socioeconomic mobility. That is something that we need to really invest in and ensure that we are getting right. They also lack culturally specific mental health care access, as well as they often are overrepresented among the homeless population. For example, 30 to 40% of the national homeless rate has some form of intellectual or developmental disability. So these are key issues that we need to work on. And in regard to the foster youth community, we actually have seen over the past several years of how the state, once youth age out of the foster care system, are actually going onto the streets, which has contributed to the homelessness crisis. They, like the autistic community, lack socioeconomic mobility, economic opportunity, and mental health care opportunities, but also they are coming onto the streets, if they are going to the streets, with pre-existing trauma, potentially history of abuse, and so much other things. If you're going to design a population in a lab primed for drug addiction and primed for homelessness, that would be it, and that's a terrible situation.
Why did you decide to run for Portland City Council?
Yes, so the reason I decided to make this run is because I believe that we needed a fresh perspective that represented not just the demographics, but the values of Portland City Council District 1, and also has someone who has been working on these key issues that have contributed to the homelessness crisis for several years now, while not being someone who believes that people should be out there on street camping or RV camping. I've been working on the Oregon Commission on Autism as social services co-chair, and have really fought for, as I said, mental health care access, workforce development, employment opportunities, economic opportunity in general, and stuff like that, so that we increase people's socioeconomic mobility to prevent them from going homeless because of skyrocketing prices, among other factors. I have been doing the same thing on the Portland Children's Levy, a tax levy that fights for youth and ensure that they have economic opportunity, mental health care, fight domestic violence and abuse. I have personal experience with that, having a would-be stepdad who actually did the same, who did that to my mother and I, among other factors. And then I've done the same thing on the Governor's Child Foster Care Advisory Commission. So my record here is very consistent.
Before we sat down to do this interview, you said he had a big announcement that you wanted to make here on this show. Now's the time. What's the announcement? Yes,
so I am announcing that I'm suspending my campaign and endorsing Terrance Hayes for Portland City Council. I will be working on his campaign as a policy advisor and deputy field manager. I am doing this because service and serving the people is not just about running for office. It's about making the right decisions and putting others before yourself and being in the role that you believe is most effective in affecting change. And I currently believe that at this current time, that this is the most effective role for me to be in order to really push what we need to get done.
Why did you decide to support Terrance Hayes?
Yeah, so Terrance Hayes is a unique individual who does not really follow any pre-established narrative. He knows the black community in Portland very well, and he's someone who really represents the values of District 1 and of the African American community in a way that I don't see other candidates being able to represent. He also is someone who understands the need for an interconnected public safety system that also does not really target anyone, some system that really focuses on building relationships between community, the police officers. That is the type of accountability that we really need in government right now, and the type of coalition building that will prove invaluable under this unique new system of government. I also believe that he is someone with the open-mindedness to really be flexible and really get what we need to do done, so I am proud to support him.
There are going to be 3 city councilors in each of the 4 districts. So why didn't you decide to continue to run in hopes of working with Terrance Hayes in District 1?
Yes, so I simply believe that at this current time, it is more effective to dedicate my energies towards electing Terrance Hayes than running myself. That was a personal decision, a decision I made after much contemplation. I also will be endorsing people in other districts, including, for example, Daniel DeMello. But the full list of my endorsements shall be released at this after this interview.
Last question, how tough was it to make this decision? You've run for office before in the David Douglas School District, and you announced pretty early that you were going to be running in District 1. So how tough was it to make this decision?
Yes, so I've always been looking at things not as if, should I run for this? Because my job is not to just be a politician. My job is to ensure that we are getting the results done and the right things done for people. And that is what motivated me to run, and that is what motivated me to make this decision. The decision itself was more of difficulty of determining the dynamics than an emotional weight, because I feel confident in this decision, and I feel it's the right choice for not just for me, but for Portland in general. And I believe that it is the right decision to make, and I believe I'm endorsing the right candidate who will be able to do what East Portland needs and not sell it out like we have seen so many other politicians do.
Well, you will have plenty of opportunities in the future to run for office again. You're only 24 years old, so you've got a lot of time ahead of you. Deian Salazar, thanks for being on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you. Have a great day.